No freaking way. Just found a huge shed out here on the four-wheeler. Look at that. Our food plots are right over here. This is one of the bucks that was coming from across the road. And he was one of the bucks that was holding super late. There was 3 bucks. This huge 10-pointer, a big 8-pointer with a split on one side, and a really nice young deer. They were all holding well into March. There was 3 bucks holding into March, like mid to late March. I'm surprised that they were holding that late. Hey, Dad, there's a huge shed right here. Can you see it from here? Do you see it? He can see it from here. I know. Yeah, just come out here. I haven't touched it yet. Our food plots, this is, like I said, this buck was coming from the north, and I got a bunch of standing corn there and a bunch of standing beans there. And all the deer from the north, these are the plots they were hitting super hard. And I knew I'd probably have a chance of finding at least one shed. And I had pictures of probably anywhere from 10 to 12 different bucks coming from that side of the road. And our other plots beyond those trees and closer to the hill over there, those deer are all coming from way back that way. Those are completely different deer.
I'll find them out without you.
I want to get like right here. That's like perfect right there.
What's out in that field right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. This is like one of the...
Jason's been waiting for this.
That's like probably one of my nicest, or the nicest shed of the whole year.
Yeah, and I could.
And honestly, there's an even bigger one than this one. The one with the split. He's only an 8-pointer with a split, but
watch how shaky you. Show me your arm. Show me. Put your hand up. Watch how shaky you are.
nah. But
You're shaking.
yeah, we just found a huge one.
No, he just found a huge one. He wouldn't let me find the easy ones.
Look at this thing.
I could have drove around a four-wheeler too and find them.
All right, I finally came across something tonight. Been walking for about 2.5 hours. I just got super lucky. This is unbelievable. All right, so I was just heading up on this like minor deer trail right here, and I was just heading this way, and for some reason, boom, I just like look this direction, and then I see a shed right there next to the tree. Fresh one. I'm surprised it's not chewed being in the hardwoods like this. And then I pulled out my phone and marked where I found it, because that's what I do with all the sheds that I find. And there was like maybe a minute time span of when I found it to when I was going to take the video. And I just glanced over down the hill a little bit, and I see another one, and that's an old one. I cannot believe I saw this. If it wasn't like an overcast day like this, there's no way I would have seen this sitting here. Look at that. Crazy. That has to be old. Even though the base looks kind of white yet, I don't see any wax ring. It's pretty well stained from sitting. That's a really cool buck. Wow. Anyways, let's go up here and get this fresh one. I cannot believe there's an old one and a fresh one sitting right here. They must bed here a lot in the wintertime, either nighttime or daytime. I don't know. It's pretty open, this woods, but wow. Just a nice little four-side. But yeah, this is a cool buck. Man, look at that. I think that's definitely old. Wow. The fact that I found a fresh one and an old one like within 15 yards is pretty crazy. I better do a few more circles right in here. Wow. Well, hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy and pretty cold. It's only about 25 degrees today. It kind of sucks, but anyways, I've been out for probably close to 4 to to 5 hours at this big public spot. This is where I found 2 of my nicest sheds last year. This place is really big. This is like the area I'm in now, this mowed up every couple years. It looks like they mow these grassy fields because otherwise, you know, it'd be so thick you wouldn't be able to walk through. And all this really good browse is why I'm finding these sheds out here. You can see over that way, they were just starting to mow up like a new section that they had just mowed up this winter. This is all just like really good willow regrowth. And you can actually see in this section I'm in right now, I started seeing these horsetails just back that way a little bit, and I was like, oh wow, this is looking really good. Look at how mowed down these horsetails are from the deer eating on them in the probably late fall and middle of winter. So I got up here, and then I just looked over, and right there, and surprisingly it's old, which is good. I mean, that's telling you that this is probably not being shed hunted too hard. It's just really low for the size of this area. I had a couple cameras here in the fall, and there was some big deer here, and they disappeared though, but there really isn't like a super high deer population here, so it's hard to find sheds here in this big place, but there is big ones out here. And that is an old one for sure, 100%, but it's pretty surprising no one found it. It's a pretty obvious spot right here in this browse, and especially in the horsetails. There probably was a ton of tracks out here this winter. There's poop everywhere on these deer trails out here. So maybe I can get lucky and find another one. Well, just came up on my second one. It's an old one too, but man, I cannot believe this thing sat for all these years. I mean, this looks old. Right there. And I was somewhat in this area last year, just didn't come by this exact spot. I mean, this thing's been sitting for years on this public land. It's amazing that, like I said, this place is getting shed hunted. Every year I shed hunt here, I see boot prints. I actually saw 2 people out today, but they were just walking those open grass fields. But wow, I mean, look at that thing. I mean, that's probably honestly a 3-year-old shed. Like, it's been sitting out here for 3 years. Definitely more than 1, probably more than 2. Wow, that is crazy. Well, obviously people are shed hunting out here. This right here is that buck that I found way back in like middle of January. I think it was January 15th. I had a video of him. He was still somewhat alive in the first shed hunting video this year. So way back in the first, you could see someone popped off this side, and then this side didn't bust off as good. He's not even touched by coyotes. That's telling me there's hardly any coyotes around here. But when I was here on the 15th, I picked up his head to, like, you know, to get a look at what his rack looked like. It's just a tiny little 1.5 years, but I grabbed it and then he started moving because he was still somewhat alive, surprisingly. But and literally just back that way, look at how nasty and crazy thick this is. Just back that way, I don't know, maybe 100 yards is where I found that super old shed that's been sitting out here for years. But then somehow someone walked through all this thick crap, got to this bigger tree right here, and, you know, found this buck too. So people are out here, but I don't know, I can't believe no one found that shed just back that way for years. Crazy. Just shows you how hard it is to find sheds sometimes. Man, I got lucky to find 2 today, in my opinion. No way. I just found one of the smallest sheds I've ever found in my whole life. This thing is super small and super old. Right there. Definitely a shed, just super small. My goodness, look at that. I mean, obviously it's been chewed down a little bit, but still, that is tiny. Wonder how old that is too. That's got to be at least 3 years old. I mean, it's just nothing left. Wow.